Welcome to Gemara Academy. In this class, we will learn Tosfos Dibra Maschel, Akiras Gufay Ka Akiras Chayfetz Dami Eloi. Let's begin. Akiras Gufay Ka Akiras Chayfetz Dami Eloi. The Gemara asked, we presented the question of Rav to Rebbe. Akiras Gufay Ka Akiras Chayfetz Dami Eloi, is the akira of a person's body, is that amount to the akira of the object or not? So if a person had an object placed on him on Shabbos while he was in Rosh Hashanah and he walked out with it into Rosh Hashanah, do we say that the akira of his body amounts to an akira of the object and therefore he did the malacha of Eitzah and he's chayev? Or do we say the akira of the body is not an akira of the object, therefore since there was no akira, there's no malacha of Eitzah and he's not chayev? Says Tosfos, Nira L'ri, it seems to the Ri, the Hachi Nami Matzin L'miboy, he could have also asked L'inyan Hanacha regarding Hanacha. What do we mean? To gain, for example, Shahotzi Chayfetz Rosh Hashanah, a person was standing in Rosh Hashanah and he carried something out into Rosh Hashanah, V'amot Sham Lafash, and he stopped over there, he stood over there, Lafash to rest. He came to a full stop. He didn't just stop for a moment, it was a full stop to rest. He did not place the object onto the ground. And the question would be, if the hanacha of his body is like a hanacha of the item, and therefore he's chayev, or not. So Tosfos is basically saying over here, the opinion of the Ri, which is that just like we have the question about the akiras gufay, the same question applies for the hanachas gufay. Now Tosfos is going to address a question that could be asked. One might say, clearly the question is only on the akira, not the hanacha. Why? Because if the question was also on the hanacha, then we could easily answer it from our Mishnah. Tosfos will say why we cannot. He'll say where we would think to answer it from our Mishnah and why we cannot. And from our Mishnah, the Tani that it says, it says the case of the ani doing haitzah, that if the ani removed an item from the hand of the balabais and took it out, the Mishnah rules he's chayev because he did the malacha of haitzah. Says Tosfos, from that case, leka lemifshit, we cannot be patient, we cannot answer this question. You would think we could answer it. Look, it says if the ani removed something from the hand of the balabais and brought it out, he's chayev. He didn't do an hanacha. We see that the hanacha of the body amounts to hanacha of the item. Says Tosfos, no, we cannot answer from there. The iko leukma sheinicha al gaber karka, because we could say it's referring to a case where you put it onto the ground. So therefore Tosfos says, just like we have the question of regarding the akira, the same question applies regarding the hanacha, and the answer you might think to give from the Mishnah is not an answer. Now Tosfos comes and asks the question. If you ask, why didn't we resolve this question from our Mishnah? The Mishnah later on Daf Yud Aleph. It says over there in the Mishnah, a tailor should not go out with his needle. He would wear it in his garment. He shouldn't go out with his needle on Erev Shabbos. Shema yishkach v'yetzi, because maybe he'll forget that he has the needle there. V'yetzi, and he's going to come out to walk out with it after Shabbos already begins. V'i akir is gufay. So what's the question? How do we see? Tosfos now is going to show how this seems to resolve our question. V'i akir is gufay. Lavka akir is chayfetz dami. And if the akir of a person's body does not amount to the akir of the item, amayla yetzaba, why shouldn't he go out with it? He's not able to come lidei iser deraisa, to an iser minatera. Generally speaking, if the Rabbanan make a gzeira, they make something aser, it's because the person shouldn't come to another Isser. It has to be that he's going to come to an Isser Minatera. The Rabbanan are not going to make a Gzeira like Gzeira. So we're not going to say this is Asr Minatera. The Rabbanan made an Isser to distance a person from that Isser of the Torah, and then they're going to make another Isser to distance a person from the Isser that they made. They won't do that. They don't make a Gzeira like Gzeira generally. What they'll do is they'll make a Gzeira for an Isser Minatera. So if the Chayat, the tailor, when he carries it on Shabbos, is considered an Isser Deraisa, it makes sense why they made a Gzeira that he shouldn't walk out with it on Erev Shabbos. But if the only Isser is Midrabanan, they wouldn't have made a Gzeira that he shouldn't come to a different Isser, which is only Midrabanan. So why didn't our Gemara resolve the question, is the akir of a body like the akir of the item or not? It should have resolved it. Clearly it is, because otherwise we would not tell the tailor he can't carry his needle on Erev Shabbos, since he might come to carry it on Shabbos. Ve'ishlemer and Tosfos says we can answer that even so, that the whole Isser is only Midrabanan, Asr Rabbanan, the Rabbanan would have made it Asr. So even though generally we say that if the whole Isser that we're concerned about is only Midrabanan, we don't make a Gzeira to avoid that Isser, Tosfos says in this case we would have. And the reason for that is explained by the Achronim and another Mefarshim.